Welcome to Armchair Expert. I'm Dan Shepard. I'm joined by Major Mouse.
Major Mouse.
Yeah, how you doing, Major Mouse?
That.
Welcome home, Major Mouse.
I'm home. I missed home.
We missed you terribly. It was bullshit
really nice.
that you were gone,
It was
to be
really
honest.
nice to be home. I felt guilty about leaving my parents this morning.
Oh, you did? So good. You felt guilty for being away from us and then guilty for that's the dream.
It's a lose-lose.
That's the goal. I got to tell you something. I've loved Robin Thicke's music, big time.
Yeah.
But I also think I had an opinion of him, and I don't know what it was really based on, but I found him to be incredibly humble and honest, and I really enjoyed this.
I did too, and I thought the exact same thing. I kind of had some preconceived notions that were not right. And
Previously conceived notions.
and I'm really glad we got to talk to him, and those were shattered.
Yes. And of course, Robin Thicke is a singer, a songwriter, record producer, dancer, musician, and an actor. He has collaborated with numerous artists such as Nicki Minaj, Christina Aguilera, Pharrell, Usher, Jennifer Hudson, Brandy, Mary J. Blige, and more. He's also on Masked Singer.
That's
on
right.
Fox.
Yeah.
But most importantly, he's here because he has a new album out called On Earth and in Heaven. So please enjoy Robin Thicke.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
Oh, there we go. I'm glad you're going without buds and going proper cans.
Well, you know, I'm in my studio, so this works out.
Yeah. You might be shocked, though. Some of the musicians we interview, and they've got the shittiest setup imaginable for this.
That happens.
Where are you at? Are you in L.A.?
I'm at home. I'm in Malibu at our rental. We lost our house in the fires, so we're still renting and rebuilding.
I read that.
That's so
Yeah.
awful.
Were you like away at a hotel?
No, we were there that morning. You know, my son was getting ready for school, and my lady was keeping track of it through the night. And in the morning, the smoke was so bad in the air, I was like, we're not going to school. We're going to go to your parents' house or something. So we started packing anyway. About an hour later, we were told that it was a mandatory evacuation. So that's when we started to pack everything we could fit into 2 cars. You know?
Oh, my
wow.
gosh.
Oh.
I had a false alarm once where my neighborhood was evacuated. Yeah, it's a weird question to ask yourself. Like, what am I going to take out of here?
Well, I was lucky because my father had, having passed away, I had gathered many of his photo albums. So it was on my mind. And so I made sure I got my computer, which has all my music, you know,
Right.
Yeah.
packed the computer, packed a few guitars, got my dad's photo albums. I told my son, I was like, back up as much stuff as you can. He got like a pair of underwear.
Oh, good for him.
His favorite pair.
Yeah.
He's a minimalist.
Yeah, he was like, it was like a weekend getaway is what he planned for. But no, but you know, it was tragic in its forms.
As you were driving away, did you had a sense like it was going to happen, or what would you have given the odds at that point?
At that point, I was still 80-20 that it wasn't going to happen. I mean, I'm an optimist by nature. So I just believed, no, this can't be happening. It's not going to come all the way over here to us, you know. But when we saw from the satellite image, it was literally a beeline from where it started. The wind just took it straight to our neighborhood and crushed our neighborhood.
Oh, how long had you lived there?
We had lived there 3 years, you know, but I mean, we had just had our daughter, Mia. I had moved from the Hollywood Hills with a third of an acre with a great view, you know, the bachelor pad. And I moved out to an acre and a half in Malibu overlooking the ocean.
Oh.
So it was like, this is our dream family home.
Yeah.
But, you know, luckily the property is in good shape, and we just broke ground finally after years of planning. We just broke ground. And so there's a new positive, hopeful energy that we'll have a home again someday.
And I'm sure people listening in like the Midwest are going, well, why would you rebuild there? Like there's a fire every half hour, you know, in Malibu.
It is a rather questionable judgment. But I guess just like anything, when you have the memories that we started there, and my fiance and I fell in love there, that was it was our home. And it's just great for kids. Like, it's just a beautiful property for kids. So we're going to rebuild and build fire safety codes and just hope for the best, man.
I'm 2 years older than you, so we're roughly in all the same stuff. But I don't know. Do you remember when Madonna and Sean Penn's house burnt down? And
Roughly.
And then he just put an Airstream on the property and just lived in an Airstream going forward.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Way to pivot.
Very Penn.
That would be great, and we would save a lot of money. But I have 4 kids. That's just not.
You don't think you can do it in a Airstream?
Not by choice.
Was there anything you wish you had taken that you didn't?
The irony of it was that we have a carport sitting out where we put our cars under. Carport was untouched. I could have put everything in the house I could have put under the carport and it would have survived. But no, the one thing that obviously I missed was my piano. I had this piano for 20 years. I had written all of my songs on that piano. So that hurt.
Yeah. Did you have like a superstitious panic? Like, oh, I will never create again because I don't have that?
Oh, no, I need the money, so I have to create.
You don't have the luxury to not create?
No, there's no luxury to pout.
Oh, that's pretty good. I think when we meet people out here that are from LA, it's always interesting to us because we obviously looked at it from the outside, Monica in Atlanta and me in Detroit, and it was such a mythical kind of place. And then so to have grown up here, not just grown up here, but as close to you could as being a character on 90210. I mean,
I was on the set.
Were you?
Oh, yeah. I was close friends with Brian Austin Green.
You guys had a hip hop group for a minute,
we had
right?
for a month. A summer. We had a hip hop group. He was going to be a rapper. I was going to be Michael Jackson, and so we did a song together in a Growing Pains episode, and that was the end of our of our career together.
Yeah, so obviously most people know your dad was Alan Thicke. I think you and I share a lot of things that we're going to ultimately cover, but
definitely.
One is I lost my dad as well. From what little I know about your dad, sounds like they were a little bit similar in that my dad, he was a player. He was 300 pounds and bald, but he had charm.
Rhythm.
He drove a Corvette and he had charm, and he spent most of his waking hours dedicated to cohabitating with gals. But and then they were divorced at 7, I guess.
Yes, my mother and father were divorced at 7. Yes, when I was 7.
Who did you live with?
It was 50-50, split down the middle. Yep, I would go. Luckily, both of my parents lived about 15 minutes away from each other, and school was in between. So it was rather convenient to be able to go back and forth per week.
Did you prefer to be at one or the other?
Well, my dad's house, of course, was looser, and he was gone on the weekends. So once I hit 13, 14, that was the place to be.
Now, is this, I've been missaying this word. I want to get it right this time. Is it apocryphal that there was a hot tub in your father's bedroom?
There was a hot tub in a few rooms.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's great.
There was a gym. He had a gym that also had a sunken-in tub with the fountain in the gym. So Dad, he was a family man in every sense, but he did have a few years there when Growing Pains was at its height. Yeah. And after he got divorced, there was a window there.
There's such tasty irony who he was playing on Growing Pains.
Yeah.
It makes me kind of think of
Full House.
Yes, exactly.
The Bob Saget situation.
The Bob Saget of it all, yeah.
But I wouldn't want to distort it. It was a period, not a lifestyle that was forever. He just was handsome and charming, and he loved going out to all of the golf tournaments, tennis tournaments, every hockey game, every basketball. He just loved Hollywood and everything it had to offer.
He had come from Canada, so he's like me. This place was like land of unicorns, probably.
Yeah, it was like John Wayne, and that's what he wanted to be. I realized after he passed, I started watching John Wayne movies for some reason, and I realized that that's what my father was doing the whole time. Hey, how you doing, Dax? Good to see you. Gonna head on down to the OK Corral and have a little two-step. And I realized my dad was just doing his version of John Wayne the whole time.
Well, aren't we all we're trying to do a version of somebody, and then it just goes through our filter, and it ends up being something novel and unique?
exactly. Then we find ourselves through mimicking others that we admire.
Yeah, yeah. Like you're giving it your best shot to be that thing, but then you cannot help but infect it with your fingerprint, which becomes your thing.
Exactly.
Now, growing up around all that, I know you acted a bit in you were on Wonder Years, which is so exciting. If I
that was pretty
kid
cool.
who got to be on Wonder Years.
It was the best job. It gave me the feeling.
What did?
Wonder Years.
Wonder Years?
Yeah.
What feeling?
Like very nostalgic.
Uh-huh.
Was that one of your favorites, Monica?
Wait, I'm trying to see. I feel like you're hinting around that this was your sexual awakening.
No, no,
oh.
it wasn't. There was something about the Wonder Years. It was a little before my time, so it would pop up and it made me feel like kind of yucky.
Oh, wow. This is exciting.
This is a horrible time to bring it up since you were on it. But there was something about it that gave me a feeling that I've now named the feeling, and it's not a very good feeling.
Do you think it's that it was too mature?
Yes, like there was something about it that was at that time for me too earnest or something.
Oh, okay. Who did you play on Wonder Years?
I asked a girl to go steady in the hallway, and that made Fred Savage's character want to ask another girl to go steady.
You were a catalyst.
Yeah, it was the catalyst.
And obviously, I assume you would go see your dad on set and your mom on set.
I lived on the Growing Pains set, yeah. Luckily, my father lived 5 minutes from there. I'd come home from school, hop on my bike, ride my bike to set, and then I would ride my bike around the set. I'd ride in the old West Town, the security would come and like tell me to stop. I'd be going through past the Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation house, past the Karate Kid's house. Pat Morita's house was on the lot. So I did live a very interesting childhood being on those sets.
Well, and the best part is it sounds like you had the presence of mind to enjoy it.
Oh, man, I was having a blast. Well, that's the thing is like my brother and I were a little different that way. My brother shied away from my father's success. It made him uncomfortable maybe in some way. Where me, I embraced it as an opportunity to do stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And be around fun people.
So when you would do these acting roles, at that point, were you set on becoming an actor?
No, I just got some opportunities, but it wasn't my home. Music was what I wanted to do for sure.
Like from what age?
From around 10, 11 years old. When I was 11, I taught myself to play piano and I started writing my own songs. And by the time I was 16, I had a recording contract. I was placing songs as a writer and a producer. I got off and running pretty early.
Yeah. And so the high school experience, what was it like, having your dad being the hit show of the day? And
well, in Hollywood, if you're at a private school, you're probably some other kids there too. So
yeah,
Sly Stallone's kid is there, or whatever it is, or Dionne Warwick's son. I remember was at the Campbell Hall when So yeah, it's just part of the culture in Los Angeles that you're going to end up around some of that.
Sly's kid, was he jacked?
He kind of was, yeah.
Okay.
He had the hair, he had the slick back hair, and he was kind of, he was
good.
in shape.
Good.
He was a cool kid. I liked him.
All right, so I probably became aware of you musically from Cocaine. I don't know what year that was, but
that was like the Evolution album. It came out in 2006, and then it was a success in 2007. It took some time to get going. So it was 2007 when it hit.
Well, and I really loved it, but at the same time, I'm so distracted by the notion that you're Alan Thicke's son, and
right.
I just wonder, I bet in some ways it was helpful, and then in other ways it was probably really a bit of a burden.
Yeah, because as a musician, especially, you want that mystery. You want to come from nowhere and it all be about the music. You don't want my dad's smiling face hovering above my music when it's playing, And obviously, I had to contend with some of those challenges. But in hindsight, you realize that it's all BS and stuff that's in your head. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't change the catalog of music you create. And you should embrace those things more than shy away from it.
Yeah, ultimately the music does the talking, which is great, right? It is a meritocracy in that way. I just think in your business in particular, the story's so intriguing.
Yeah.
Especially in R&B. where you come from and it being maybe hard scrabble or these different things, they add to the story.
Yeah.
And not only was your dad famous, but he was also playing like the squarest dad on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're kind of like, well, how's this guy got all this rhythm? Why is he so high on the soul spectrum? And his dad's like the whitest guy ever to live.
But you know what's funny about that? If you go through my DNA, I come from 6 generations of musicians, of jazz trumpet players. My mother is a soul pop singer. So we've been trying to make black music for 6 generations.
Yeah. I thought was funny about you is you early on worked with Brian McKnight, and they called you Brian McWhite.
Yeah. There was something up there just for me, soul music, soul singers, gospel, Take 6. That just touched me, and I wanted to sing like them. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to sing with that kind of passion, with that kind of feeling, with that kind of soul. And so it was really the singers that I just fell in love with, that I wanted to be like them.
This has nothing to do with anything, but do you love Daryl Hall?
I love Daryl Hall. Absolutely. I love Michael McDonald, Kenny Loggins.
Yeah.
I mean, when I got to meet Kenny Loggins, I didn't even recognize him at first. He came, we were doing some morning show together, and he came in and said hi and told me he really liked my music. And I was like, that's a nice guy. Who is that? They were like, it's Kenny Loggins. I go, holy
Get him back here.
Wait. I ran into his dressing room. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even recognize you.
Oh my
God.
God.
Yeah, man. It's all a lineage. Oh, even the Bee Gees. Did you see the recent documentary?
Phenomenal.
So great to have them admit that the reason they were singing in falsetto was because of all of the soul singers they were emulating.
Yeah.
And so I think that's just natural.
Yeah, I brought up Daryl Hall because he was named in Philadelphia Blue-Eyed Soul.
Yeah.
And was winning all these a cappella contests as one of the only white entrants.
Yeah.
And I find him incredible. Now, one thing that's just juicy for me because I absolutely love him. Your first demo was paid for by Al Jarreau, which again, only in Hollywood does this
only
somehow.
in Hollywood. I went to a Boys to Men Jodeci concert at the Hollywood Palladium. I end up meeting a table full of 18-year-old black guys. I sing for them in the club at the Hollywood Palladium. We make friends. We start a band together when I'm like 14. And 2 of the members of our group, their godfather is Al Jarreau. So I end up at their house sometimes. I'm hanging out with Al a little bit. And my dad does not want to pay for a demo at 14, right? My dad's like, it's too soon. It's too soon. I'm not giving you $1,500 to record music. No. So Al Jarreau gave us the $1,500. We cut the 3 songs. Tricky Stewart, who ended up producing for Beyonce and Rihanna, and one of the biggest producers, he was just getting started at the time. I cut a couple more songs with him because he heard those songs. And next door, Brian McKnight was recording at the same studio. Brian heard those songs.
Yeah.
Wow.
And thus it all began.
Okay, so there's so many elements how your childhood set you up to be where you're at, because the notion you're out at 14 at nightclubs singing for people. Also, not everyone's allowed to tool around town.
Yeah, like I said, Dad was gone on the weekends.
I have a question that maybe is dicey. We can we'll cut anything out.
I'm here, open kimono.
But now that we live in a very scrutinizing time, and cultural appropriation is a big thing, is it hard to be a white musician who's been doing soul music for this long, and now it feels like, am I going to get called out for cultural appropriation? Even though, I mean, I think music is all about pulling influences from other people and other things, but it's just so heightened right now. I feel like it'd be scary.
Yeah, but you know what? There's just something about music, and especially this generation, because we've all grown up on hip hop. It's just different now. You know what I mean? And like, I've been on BET for 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
BET was the first to play my video. I had a Sprite commercial on BET. BET is the only place I play.
Yeah.
So I was on The Real Husbands of Hollywood with Kevin Hart on BET. So for me, that is my family. That is my home. My new video that just came out, BET premiered it. Even 20 years later, it's still BET is the place that I get the most love, and that is home to me. I think it's going to be other white people maybe that are still trying to figure out where they fit
Again, I think the music does the talking, right?
Exactly.
Because if you're Eminem, no one gives a fuck. And if you're Mac Miller, no one gives a fuck. Like if you're good and you're adding something to it, not just ripping.
Yeah, and Justin Timberlake and Justin Bieber, I think this generation, it's a collaboration. It's different from when it was. It used to be Elvis with a band of white guys on stage doing black music. Now it's a collaborative. Now there's black directors doing our videos. There's black songwriters. There's black producers. We're on stage. We're in the videos together. It's all a collaborative, positive life force, now.
And I don't think it's anyone on the inside saying anything. It's only on the outside.
Yeah, and those are the people that are still trying to figure out where they fit into this American culture. And, but really, if you treat everybody with respect and you give everybody the same kind of love and equality, then you won't have these questions in your head. You just treat people the way you're supposed to treat people, and it won't matter.
It usually takes us an hour to discover this, but you have 0 chips on your shoulder. Would you agree, Monica?
Yeah.
Just like a positive takeaway of nearly everything.
Yeah.
Have you strove for that, or have you always been that way?
No. I mean, I've always been very positive, but I just went through my darkest days. My father, my house, my mentor, my addictions, just everything at the same time all hit the wall. And I don't want to be that person ever again.
Yeah. When you carry those chips, you're suffering. No, none of the people you have a chip on your shoulder about are suffering.
Now I have to remind myself to go easy on myself.
Oh, God,
because the biggest chip now is against me.
Oh, yeah. So I think I was listening to Stern, you on Stern, and then I had found out that you had been sober for some period of time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you hadn't, at a young age, identified that you were an addict or anything.
No, it wasn't until my 30s. I was in good control of my faculties. I was a beer and a glass of wine kind of guy, but it wasn't until the touring and the partying and the lifestyle, and you just think you can manage it all. You think you can keep going at that pace, and then your habits catch up with you.
Yeah. Opiates have the illusion of being manageable, don't they?
Yes. And the illusion of normalcy, of some form of normalcy. You don't have to hide in the bathroom. You're not falling down or slurring your words.
It's not on your breath.
It's not on your breath. Yeah. You can't necessarily see it in the eyes.
Yeah. But at least for me personally, even though you're doing all those things, you're not actually present for them. In my recent brush with it, I was doing all the things I'm supposed to be doing. I'm putting the kids to bed. I'm washing dishes. I'm interviewing people. And I'm telling myself, wow, this is so manageable. And yet now, obviously, I have the clarity to say, well, I wasn't really present for any of it. Because all I'm actually thinking about is where are we at? When am I taking another one? Where am I going to take another one? It actually is playing in the foreground. Right. And my life is playing in the background.
Yes. Yes,
and I just wondered if that was your experience.
Well, yeah. I mean, I want to be considerate. I don't want to be reckless with my statements. I want to be careful, just to be honest and careful about the timeline, because I think it was when I moved out to Malibu and April and I were having our honeymoon, because the blurred line stuff, that was a pill thing. That was like pill drinking. My back was hurting. It started from traveling on long flights and back pain, and then it just became a bad habit. But once all the blurred lines madness stopped and I moved to Malibu, I had a really nice honeymoon with April for a while. And then the honeymoon slowed down and the drinking increased. And then my father passed. And now I'm kind of out of the business. I put on 50 pounds. I just kind of lost myself. I was making music that wasn't even from my heart anymore. And that's where I kind of lost myself for a while. And it wasn't really until COVID hit and my mentor passed away that it all became very clear.
Uh-huh. That was kind of the bottom.
I was functioning. I was doing, like you said, but I wasn't high all day. It was more like, take care of the kids, and once they're asleep, I'm going to drink myself to sleep.
Sure.
But then you're cranky in the mornings, then you're arguing with your lady and you don't remember what you said. And then it's just this isn't a life for a family, and I can't be the dad I want to be like this.
Yeah. What was the experience? Because you were successful for decades, right?
Yeah.
And then Blurred Lines is a launch out of a fucking cannon, right? I mean, I can't remember a song that was more ubiquitous, and I mean, it was just, it was an avalanche of everything, right?
Yeah.
That can be hard to manage, no?
Knowing what I know now, I could have managed it all better. Turns out that I still had a child inside of me that needed unrealistic things. I had unrealistic desires, and then they got more selfish. The more successful I became, the more selfish my desires became.
Yeah.
And with a little therapy and some self-realization and just some reality slapping you in the face, I have finally woken up, and now I can be myself, love myself. I can be the butt of the joke and be okay with it finally. That was hard for me. I held on so tight to my music and my art that I couldn't laugh at myself. And being able to laugh at myself has become my new superpower. That's what gets me through.
It's one of the greatest qualities someone can have.
Absolutely.
But the experiences that you've been lucky enough to have, that I've been lucky enough to have, they are so heightened and they are very unique, and most people don't really experience those. Like, if you walk on stage and you're playing to 30,000 people, that's just such a heightened experience.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like to avoid some crash, you just start trying to amplify every other pocket of your life because it's so stark in contrast to what you're experiencing.
Yeah, and I think that some people can manage it. If you don't have those drugs and alcohol to try to balance yourself out, then you won't have those issues. My father's lifelong mantra was always balance, balance. And then, of course, when I lost balance, everything went out of whack. And now that I focus on my balance, I focus on getting enough rest, being present with the kids, being present in my work, even on The Masked Singer, making sure that I'm enjoying it instead of being up there like, man, I never thought I'd have to do something like this.
Sure.
Yeah, because when I started, I still thought, hey, man, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
I'm a singer. And then now I've totally embraced it and I'm having more fun than ever. The producers are happier than ever. So you realize you are standing in your way.
Yeah.
And that's what my issue has been. I've been in my way for too long.
I imagine there's a layer for you that, say, I didn't have. Like, my dad hadn't navigated and managed that kind of attention perfectly, and then I came along and did it bad. Right. I guess if I were you, I'd probably feel like I had really disappointed him on top of whatever I've done to myself.
Right, but with all due respect to my father, and through some therapy, I realized that he was gone a lot by choice. And as a son, that hurts.
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to keep going to a cool person's party? Why can't you hang out with me? Why can't you take me places? So through therapy, I realized that I was still searching for his attention, for his approval. And here I am trying to be a rock star to make him proud of me. And because maybe if I'm a rock star, he'll hang out with me.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Oh my God. So this is fascinating because I imagine when Blurred Lines happens, you have created this fantasy where if that ever happened, you were going to feel like this.
Yeah, I'll be the coolest to my dad, finally.
Oh.
Yeah. And none of these fantasies ever are what you think they're going to be, right?
No, of course not.
Can I ask what he died of?
Heart attack.
Oh, a heart
I'm so
attack.
sorry.
Yeah, it was very sudden.
I'm very sorry about that.
Luckily, right before he passed, even though I was drinking a lot, I was going through a gratitude period for my parents because I was having a tough time. I really appreciated how they had kept it together for so long. And I had some great talks with my dad leading up right before he passed about how much I appreciated him and looked up to him and how I don't know how he made it that long keeping it all together.
Yeah.
And I got to let him know how much I appreciated him. So that felt
That's
good.
lovely.
Have you found that, like, for me, having kids has also provided this opportunity to forgive him in all these ways I don't think I could have if I hadn't had kids?
Even more so, my mom, who had a very difficult childhood, isn't the type to deal in too much emotion.
Yeah.
Because it's overwhelming for her if she has to deal in emotion. So I always wanted more from my mom. Come on, Mom, give me a little more. And now that I have kids and I've been through the ringer and been in the same business that she's been in, I have so much love and respect for my mom's grace and her dignity and her keeping her head on her shoulders and not becoming an addict and not losing her cool. Just I have so much admiration from my mother that I don't know I had until I had children.
Yeah, it was so helpful. Let's talk about Pharrell. I'm kind of obsessed with Pharrell. Not knowing a ton about music, but there's just something about him that seems, I feel like we've got like a Picasso among us or something.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you meet him? And how is that friendship and working partnership?
My first album was critically received very well. It didn't sell a lot, but on the inside circles, I had a lot of respect in the soul music community. So Pharrell was a fan of the first album, and then he was signing his new deal with Interscope Records for Star Trek, and Jimmy Iovine, who owns Interscope Records, he was always great at pairing people together. He would put Eminem with Dre. He would put 50 Cent with Eminem. So he put me with Pharrell to have Pharrell put his arm around my shoulder and present me to the public that way.
Yeah.
So his cosign opened up doors for me. And then Blurred Lines, we got lucky with that years later. But it was really just him ushering me into the world saying, you got to check this guy out. You got to listen to this guy. What happened? He just helped me out in every single way.
That's interesting because we just interviewed Timberlake and he has the exact same story that between Pharrell and Timbaland, that kind of gave him the pass, or at least gave him a neutral, like, we're going to listen.
Well, the great thing about Justin was that Pharrell produced that first album and they just had great record after, because I remember hearing also that weren't some of those records supposed to be from Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Michael turned him down and then he did them all on Justin, and then Justin has a 10 million selling album. So, I mean, those are still, today those records play and they're badass. So they just knocked it out of the park with Justin's first album. I remember watching Justin because I was like, let's see what this guy does. But then when I heard the records, I was like, damn, those are good records.
Yeah. If I were you, I would have been real positioned to hate him. Like, oh, okay, he's leaving this boy band. I've been doing this for 15 years.
Well, the good thing is that I had the long hair at the time. I saw myself as some other thing. My first album, I even went by the name Thicke. I didn't even go by Robin Thicke because I thought I was like Beck.
Sure.
I thought I was the artiste. I thought, okay, Justin, he's a superstar, pop star. I'm the artist, and we're two different worlds.
Yeah.
But of course, then years later, here we are, the synergy of, and everything that you want to accomplish, you realize that your paths are more intertwined than they're not.
Was there someone's career that you wanted or that you thought you were emulating?
Oh, not really. I think there was somewhere in between Michael Jackson and Bruce Springsteen.
Okay.
Because my dad's favorite was Bruce Springsteen.
That feels very on brand for your dad, yeah.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen was everything, a poet, a man's man, a man of the people. And so that was very much a part of who I am. But then I wanted to be the superstar, the showman that Michael Jackson was.
What about Prince? I feel like you were going more after Prince because he was a little sexier.
And the musician side of Prince.
Also a pill addict.
Yeah, well,
so many connections.
we're so similar. Oh man.
Okay, so as you said, the last run you've been on is just every conceivable thing that could happen. By the way, I did not know you gained 50 pounds. Was that done pleasurably or slowly, immediate?
It was slowly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just procrastinating, like, I'll get back to it. And then all of a sudden, 5 years went by. And The Masked Singer was so great for me because it made me get off my butt, put a suit on, go to work, have to see myself in the mirror and go, gosh, what happened to you, buddy?
Yeah.
And so then the self-hate, the self-loathing, that kicks in. And so like I said, it really wasn't until a year ago when COVID struck and my dad was gone. And then my mentor, my executive producer, my best buddy, godfather to my son was gone. And that was just like, I have to change my life and I got to live more.
Can you tell me how he was a mentor to you? I've not had one, and I'm curious, like musically or spiritually or just as a person?
In every way. He showed up and he owned Uptown Records, which was Jodeci, Father MC, Heavy D, Guy, all these great music from the 90s. Then he ran Bad Boy Records with Puffy. He gave Puffy his first job and he mentored Puffy. He signed Mary J. Blige. So he was a soul godfather and a music godfather to so many. So he meets me when he's moving to LA to start his LA move. He had been in New York for 20 years. Puffy is at the height of Puffy fame. And Andre comes to me, he hears me sing, he sees something special, and he makes me feel like finally somebody gets me, right? This is before I've released any of my own solo music.
Can I ask what age you are then?
About 22, 23. I think we met in 99 or 2000. It was right around then. And so I was just starting to dedicate my time to my own solo music. And I met him and he taught me how to walk, how to talk, how to dress. He took the photos. He helped me with every song, what it was missing, what I was trying to accomplish with my music, because I was all over the place. And he actually said, okay, well, what are you trying to accomplish? Then you want to go here with it. And then all of his connections. So I throw a Halloween party. I've got Naomi Campbell, Mariah Carey, Ted Demme, Paul Thomas Anderson, Seal.
Seal! At the height of Seal.
These are the people in my studio before my album comes out. Okay,
That's
at
crazy.
my Halloween party. So Andre's friends are everyone. And now I'm got long hair and I'm fabulous and I got and I'm thinking they're my friends too. Everybody's loving the music and then the album drops and we don't sell anything. And Jimmy Iovine spent $5 million and blah, 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 and the album's a total commercial flop. And then that's where the evolution of Robin Thicke songs came. And that's when I finally started writing my best material. It was when I fell on my face.
Man, you've been humbled a bunch, huh?
Yeah, man. It's good for you.
It's an art form to, honestly, I know it's cliche and everyone says it, but it's so much more admirable to watch someone repeatedly get up.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, you know, what's funny is that, like you were saying, you know, growing up in a semi-privileged life, and wanting to be a soul singer, I probably needed these things to happen to justify my music.
Yeah.
Now my life has justified my music finally.
Not to harp on blurred lines, but again, it was just such a spectacular thing. It was so spectacular. Yes. In those moments where you like, okay, this is it. Like I'm Jay-Z from going forward.
Yeah, you get a little cocky and you start thinking everything you touch is gold, and then you stop focusing on the details, and then you just start saying yes to everything because the check is big.
I will make an excuse for you, which is you had spent 20 years getting by. It's like you don't know that that's ever going to happen again. It's very fucking tempting.
Yeah. But more than that, I think I just wanted it for so long. And then when it came, I was already in a crumbling marriage. You know, we were already at the end of the road. And then this hit when we were just struggling to hold on to our marriage. And then the drinking and everything magnifies.
Yeah.
And then I just wasn't the person that I set out to be anymore. I had such great intentions. You know, when I got started, I was a hippie. I was all about love and equality and positivity and hope. And then all of a sudden, I lost the message. I lost it.
It can happen. I doubt you want to talk about Paula, but I did not have any idea that you guys had been together for 21 years. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you were, 14 and she was 16 when you met?
Yeah, well, when we met, 14 and 15.
Again, out at a nightclub at 14.
At a nightclub owned by David Faustino.
Perfect.
And Brian Ostergren. I mean, come on. It was called Ballistics. It was a summer club for teenagers. That was my spot when I was 14.
Oh, my God. I was with a girl for 9 years. She met me. I was a fucking loser. I then became successful while I was with her. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that really broke my heart about that not working out is I cherished the idea that this person knew me from the get and was along for the ride and knew the real me. Yeah. And I hated losing that.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's funny is that because we both were in the business, we both changed. The business does change your outlook, your desires. It changes the way you think about yourself. It just changes things. And her and I had so much love and positivity and the quintessential Hollywood romance. I helped her with her lines before auditions. She helped me with my choruses when I got stuck. I mean, we lived the dream. Then it didn't work anymore. The great thing is that I've been lucky enough to find somebody in April who could care less about about that stuff. She likes the father in me. She likes all the other things in my person, my sense of humor and what a dad I am. She could care less if I ever hit a stage again.
Well, the thing that you just kind of said, which is so true, is it's a business that actually requires you to think about yourself. and
Right.
too fucking much.
Way too much.
But it is almost a requirement of the job. Like you can't just
Yeah.
show up on stage and have not thought about what you're going to look like, not thought about what you're crafting, all that stuff. So
Yeah, vanity is an ugly, ugly thing.
yeah. Have you started to embrace getting older yet? It just happened to me. I saw gray in the side of my hair and I was like, oh, I think I'm going to keep it now. I'm ready.
I'm still working on my self-image. Yeah, I'm too extreme with myself. I either love it or I hate it. I got to find a steady horse in the middle.
A neutral ground.
Yeah, I'm getting to a neutral ground. Well, I finally have shedded off a lot of the weight this last year because of the not drinking and just taking better care of myself. But really, the best thing, like I said, is just been able to laugh at my imperfections. And that's been the biggest change, that I, just wanted to be so cool and so perfect and so fly that I didn't want him to know I had a limp in my knee. I didn't want anyone to know that now I'm like, you know what? I'm a dad. It's all, I'm just letting it all wash off, and I'm holding on to whatever bit of cool I have left for dear life.
But that's what's cool.
That's the irony,
That
right?
is what's cool.
Right.
It is.
Owning
Right.
yourself. Yeah.
And then that becomes cool.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I realized, is that when I was trying to be cool, I was actually turning people off.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I didn't realize it. If I just would have been myself, and I would have slowed everything down, but I had to be something all the time. There's freedom in letting it all go, man.
Yeah. Yeah. You're kind of sending a signal like, I love me, so I'm worthy of love, and you're probably going to love me too.
Yeah, it's, hey, I'm not so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. There's worse. There's worse out
Worse
there.
out there, yeah.
Okay. So you have new album for the first time in 6 years on
Yeah.
Earth and in Heaven.
Yes, sir.
And you collaborate again with Pharrell. This is the first time since Blurred Lines?
Yeah, well, actually, we started this record in the same sessions as Blurred Lines back in the day. We did 3 days and we wrote 3 songs. This was one of them. And then we got together 4 years ago, went back in the studio, added horns, some guitar, added a cooler intro, and just made the record come alive. And then I just put it in my pocket and I was holding it until I finished the album, which I finally did.
And what was it like, this process? Because life's so different now.
It's all very different, and I'm just still adjusting to it. First time I put an album out and there's no celebration, there's no party, there's no friends around, there's no Andre, no dad. So it's all very new, and sometimes it's a little sad, but I keep putting my energy into my kids and into my friendships, and the time that I missed with Andre and the times that I missed with my dad because I was drunk or I was hungover or I didn't like the way I looked and I didn't spend time with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I don't want to ever be like that again and miss an opportunity to spend quality time with people I love.
Yeah. So really quick, The Masked Singer. So here's what I know about The Masked Singer. When I go on,
Freudian slip.
That's the old me, the mask.
when I'd say once a week I go on Twitter and most of the questions are you this week's Masked Singer? I can't tell you how often people, and I'm the worst singer in the world. You'll know if I'm ever on it.
I'll start guessing you more often, man. This is fun.
It's a real phenomenon, that show, right? People they have to know who it is.
Yeah, it's fun.
Who's been the funnest Masked Singer thus far?
Well, I mean, we just actually wrapped last night.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, season 5.
Do you have an audience?
No, the audience is filmed from previous shows.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
virtually set in. So we're just there, the
Nice.
panel, we have our social distancing, and we get
Great.
tested every day on set and everything. So we feel safe, and I'm so lucky to have a job right now. It's just nice to have a job.
Oh, we feel the exact same way. Yeah, the fact
Yeah.
that we were able to pivot and do this over Zoom has been so lucky. So who was the biggest Masked Singer?
The biggest, well, I can't talk about anybody from this season, of course, but Lil Wayne was great for me. I didn't guess Lil Wayne. He's one of my favorite artists of all time. We've done 6 records together.
I was going to say, you guys have worked
That's
together.
amazing.
Yeah, and I did not recognize Lil Wayne.
Get outta
That
here.
was pretty funny, yeah. But, just having like Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight and, being able to see these people in person sing for us in a bee costume, it's so outrageous and fun. And the reason that I think it's been a great success too is because the panel, we're so goofy and silly. We're
Yeah.
not taking it serious, except for the journeys and the emotions that are coming from the stories. But we're up there just laughing our butts off.
Who are you proudest of yourself for guessing?
Bob Saget. I gotta get Bob Saget because Bob's been a family friend for many years, so I got Bob. But
Is it because he said fuck and cocksucker 3 times in his song? Or
God, I love Bob. He's such a great guy.
Oh, it's the dreamiest gig ever.
It's awesome. I mean, just laughing with Ken and wearing a suit and trying to guess who's under the mask. It's the best job I've ever had.
Yeah. I hope you get 100 seasons out of it.
Yeah, we got to put the girls through college now, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Seasons 8 through 12 will be for that. You can circle that. All right. Well, everyone should check out On Earth and in Heaven. No chips on your shoulder. Just a nice, positive.
It's very impressive.
It
Right
is.
now.
I'm impressed that you're talking to us after the few years you had there, man. It's really impressive.
Well, you know, I got some great advice from Jay-Z to name drop because I signed with his management company when my manager passed away. And he just gave me some great advice. It's like, whatever you've been through, you need to let people know. If you want to be embraced, if you want to get back out there and you want to put your music and put yourself back out there, be willing to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And that was good advice.
Did the note rhyme?
Very funny.
He's my number one. He
love
oh
him.
my God. He is Picasso walking around.
Because also he sees the world with such consideration. He is so considerate and thoughtful, just like Barack Obama or Michelle Obama, like that kind of every room they walk into, they know who they are. They don't change who they are. They give you positive energy and some form of good advice. You know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes from Jay-Z is lifetime advice, you know?
Oof, we're dying to have him on here.
Yeah,
Literally.
please call him when we hang up and tell him that
Oh,
we're...
you know, he needs the exposure, you know?
He really does. I think he's just about to make it. He's at a tipping point, and I think
this show will take him right over the top.
That's right.
yeah, he would have $1.4 billion if he did our show instead of 1.3. Well, listen, Robin, huge pleasure talking to you.
I wanted to say to you, too, you know, that when I heard about your story of last year and turning it into this and being able to tell your truth, what my album and what I've been doing is taking everything life is throwing at me or that I've thrown at myself and turning it into something positive. You know, now you're helping people. You're turning what you've been through into something positive. And I want to, you know, say thank you and give you a lot of credit for that. That's hard to do.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, because you growing up with Austin Green and a band and your dad's on TV, I can't relate at all. But the fucking shitty 3 years and your dad, your mentor, now you have something to help me with, you know?
Yeah. Now my records will make sense to you now.
Well, cocaine made a lot of sense to me, but...
You know, it was funny about that. At that time, I had never even tried it. Never even tried it when I wrote the song. It was about the dangers and the luring possibilities because I had started to see it around me. And I saw it as a very dangerous thing. And that's what that song is about.
It is indeed dangerous, as most fun things are.
Well, thank you so much, Monica.
Thank you.
Thank
This
you,
is
Dax.
great.
Yeah,
I
take care,
appreciate
brother.
you guys. Lots of love. Okay,
Bye.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
And now my favorite part of the show, the fact check with my soulmate, Monica Padman. Editor's note about this fact check. We were doing it as if it were for another guest, but we still enjoyed so much of the stuff that was talked about during it that we're going to leave it in. But if you're hearing the ding, ding, dings and going, those are not ding, ding, dings for Robin Thicke, you're right. And now I give you the wrong fact check. She's so fine, there's no telling where the money went. Super irresistible.
Hi.
We decided diarrhea can really be described as irresistible. You can't resist when it's there.
It's undeniable that it's irresistible.
And I don't think many people have previously labeled diarrhea as irresistible. So I feel like we're on to something novel and proprietary.
Oh my
perhaps,
God. NNP.
as we always strive to do.
NNP is NNP.
Yes. It's yet another notch in our NNP bedpost.
So we're still far away from each other.
2,000 miles as the crow flies. You went to the mall.
Outdoor.
You went to the mall today.
Went to an outdoor mall to just walk around.
Sure.
You know, get back to basics, really.
Yeah. Remember who brought you to the dance.
That's right. And I wore a double mask and I went into a store and I bought a mug that has 2 hedgehogs hugging and it says hedgehogs.
Yeah. I would. Well, first of all, you are the perfect person to have that. But I was also trying to think who else, like, if you had to gift that to anyone we know, who would you gift it to?
Kristen.
Kristen?
She likes animals a lot.
Yeah, she does. She does. But I want someone with more of a childlike flair.
Okay. Let me.
Like maybe Molly would be the perfect recipient.
She would
of
like
that.
hedgehogs.
Yeah, it's very innocent.
Now I'm feeling guilty, like I should give it to her
Yeah.
because she's picking me up from the airport.
Oh my God, she is.
Yeah.
Well, you should definitely present her with that then.
Shit, but I want to drink out of it right now.
We'll drink out of it, then wrap it up and send it. It'll be like the left-handed mugs we sell. It's got
Oh,
DNA
I'm
on
so
it.
torn. I'm so torn. My love of gift giving is really conflicted with my desire to keep that adorable mug.
The unstoppable force is meeting the immovable object. So your number one calling card is your gift giving,
Yeah.
and then you're also a brat, a spoiled brat.
Hey!
So that's the that's the immovable object. So what we'll give?
Is it a brat to want to keep the thing you bought for yourself with your
No.
own money?
No. But you're a little mouse that's like, I want that lamp. I'm gonna get that lamp.
Yes, I am, but I'm not a little mouse that says, I want that lamp. Buy me that lamp.
No, you don't want anyone to buy it for you.
Yeah.
That's not what you're asking for.
No. That to me is bratty.
That's spoiled.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Bratty is also just a tiny bit where you go like, that's way too expensive. Who cares? I want it. That's a little bratty, right?
Interesting. We have different definitions.
We are deferential to brattiness.
We have different definitions of bratty. Yeah.
Well, okay, let's take a few steps back. Do you want to dance?
Oh, sure. Of course. Yes.
Okay, I can break this up. So one is you were spoiled. Now you're not because you're a woman of means. But you were spoiled as a kid. Your mom would run upstairs and make you milkshakes when you screamed at her.
No.
You got a bunch of money from your grandma for no reason.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
You're pretty spoiled by my recollection. You got cars given to you. You didn't have to buy them.
Yeah. Those things are all true that you just said. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Are you offended yet?
No,
I'm just repeating some stuff I know about you.
I am not offended.
Okay.
It's all relative. My mom and I were actually just having this conversation because she even said, like, remember when you were younger, you'd always want stuff and I'd say no. Like she acknowledges that about herself.
Yeah, like designer clothes and
Not
stuff.
designer,
or-
limited to.
Well, that's nice. And I'm sure when you were in junior high and high school, that was the shit. No, was it not?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah.
It was. But I don't know that I could ethically qualify it as designer now that I'm an
Right.
adult and I know what that means.
Right. Like you weren't secondhand store,
No.
Kmart or Big Lots.
I had some pants from Sam Goodies.
Did you have any pants from Big Lots?
I don't think so. But all of my furniture for college came from Big Lots.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Really trusted name in college furnishings.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
point is, I was very privileged. I was.
Okay.
I don't know that I would say
Well, I know it's
spoiled.
tricky. I know why. You know why you just said it relative because there were other people in your school that were more spoiled. There were kids that probably had sports cars.
Oh, I mean, the reason my mom is acknowledging that she didn't do that is because my friends got those things. So relative
Right.
to them, she'd
Yeah.
buy me like a shirt and they would get 40 shirts. And
Yeah.
so I did not feel spoiled.
I'm now having like a real time realization.
Okay.
I have the problem, which is I don't think I deserve things. Like I have to really wrestle with buying it. Well, my Mercedes station wagon. I wanted it for 6 years. I could have afforded it for 15 years and I wouldn't buy it for myself. For some reason, I was like, you don't deserve a fucking Mercedes AMG. So eventually, Kristen bought it with money she and I had both made on these commercials. But I don't know that I would have ever bought it. And I realized that's my baggage. I don't think I feel worthy of a lot of things. And so I think your baseline is healthier. like the lamp is a funny one because you go like, oh, I saw this lamp, but it's way too expensive. I'm going to get it. I just think of myself in that situation and it's just so foreign to me. I would go like, oh my God, I really want that lamp. But there's no way I can't buy a lamp that's expensive. You know what I'm saying? Like I go through this whole thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have much of that. I have oh my God, this lamp is so expensive. I can't afford it if I can't afford it.
Right.
And that's like practical. It's like, oh, I want that. That's so expensive, but I can't afford it. It's not, oh my God, I want that. It's so expensive, so I shouldn't buy it. I shouldn't buy it because it's so expensive. I don't have that. I have like, I can buy it or I can't buy it.
Right. Well, and in tied to some of that is you don't have the same fear of financial insecurity as I do because you've had much security. So you if you can afford it, you don't go, I can afford this today, but what about in 4 months? What if I don't work as much? Will I be regretful I spent the money on this expensive lamp and I didn't prepare for the future? Like, I guess that's in my calculus at all times too.
If I was only acting, I would feel a lot more scared to make big purchases like that. But since I have a consistent job, I feel much more willing to. And getting deeper than that, I guess what I really don't have a fear of is finding employment.
Right.
Like I really don't have a fear at all that I'll be someone who can't get a job. And that is probably arrogant. I'm sure it is. And I'm not saying I'll have the best job, but I know tomorrow I can get a job somewhere, even if it's like
to feed yourself.
Exactly. I know that I'm capable of doing that.
At
so I'm
Pier
not
1.
really super scared. Sure. That'd be great.
It's close.
Is it close? Where
Do you know
is it?
there's a Pier 1 so close to us. By the way, the place is almost invisible.
That Pier 1 is not
Doesn't
in a
look like
great
a Pier
area.
1, right? Every time I pass it, I'm like, how long has that place been closed? When are they going to take the sign down? There's never been a car in the parking lot. It has looked closed for the 16 years I've lived in Los Feliz.
Yes, but it's not. It's still kicking.
And it's in the shadow of my 7-Eleven, which is a very dicey place.
Yeah, it's not.
As you know, I've had some physical altercations there. I've had a lot of stuff happen at that 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I like it. I told you right when Aaron and I retire, we're gonna work at 7-Eleven.
Oh, that will be fun.
Because we figured out that's where you see the shit. Like stuff is going down at 7-Eleven like every 45 minutes. In LA at least. I can't speak for other places, but there's much activity.
I tend to avoid it.
Yeah, there's like people are passed out in some of the aisles. There's fist fights. There's like sex acts going on. There's people showering in the commode. It is just, there's so much, a fervor of activity at all times.
Speaking of ding, 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 sort of, I was watching with my parents the doc on the Hotel Cecil in Los Angeles. Oh my God. I mean, I knew the story about the girl who gets put in the water tank.
Yeah.
But there's just so much that goes on in that hotel. Yes, because it's right off Skid Row.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff.
Of action.
A lot of action. You might want to consider retiring there instead.
We might take a night shift there and a day shift at 7-Eleven.
Okay.
Or just keep it light and do 3 and 3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I have so many ideas about my retirement. Another one is what you know about is I've long fantasized about when I retire volunteering to mow the lawn at the Veterans Cemetery on Wilshire and the 405 there. Because I love mowing grass so much. And it is it's the biggest plot of grass in Los Angeles. And every time I drive over that pass, I'd be like, man, would I like to ride a lawnmower there for a few hours a day.
This is a ding, 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 and I'll tell you why. Because you tend to think much more about work, about whether you're going to, about retirement. Like I've literally, and you're older than me, so
Considerably.
No.
Thanks for reminding everyone.
No, I'm saying you're older than me, so maybe that's why I'm about to say I've literally never, ever, ever, ever thought about what I will do in my retirement.
Right.
And
yeah.
maybe that comes with age, I'm saying.
I don't think it's that. I think it's back to the obsession of like having enough so that I can make it to that period where then I don't have to worry.
Yeah.
Like retirement to me symbolizes a period where you don't have to worry.
Yes.
Yeah. The false security. Yeah. And in that time, I'd like to mow the grass, work at 7-Eleven. I also want to drive a cab and not an Uber.
Okay.
A cab.
Okay.
Because again, people plan to get in an Uber. Sometimes people are jumping in a cab because they just committed a crime. They're trying to get away from somebody. Again, it's just a hotbed for action. A cab. It's weird to you, right? That
sad.
I desire to be.
Well, I'm a little sad that those are your plans because I don't know that we're going to be that close anymore if those are your plans. Because I can't be there for any of that. I'm not interested in any of the things you just said.
It is not for you, but I'll only work like 4 hours a day. It's my retirement. So there'll be all kinds of social time.
It sounds like it will probably lead to your demise pretty quickly.
No.
Okay.
No, if there's anyone that was born to navigate stressful, violent situations, it's Aaron and I. Would it make you feel better if we were together at all times? Like, that'd also be interesting. You get in a cab and the cab driver always has his friend with him.
Yeah, that would make me feel better. Yeah, that would.
Maybe it is that he has a job at 7-Eleven. I have a job at the Bates Motel.
No.
And like we just hang
Hotel
with
Cecil.
each other during each other's shifts. You know, like we're not even officially both employed there. We're just together. Like he's got his 7-Eleven vest on and I don't. I'm in like a flannel.
Sure.
Oh man, this is a fun life.
I really hope you enjoy it.
Why do you think you're not going to be a part of it? That's just 4 hours a day. That'd be like if I took up golfing. Most seniors take up golfing, which takes like 5.5 hours a day.
I just have a feeling it's going to change you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Oh, okay.
So I just gotta, I guess, like enjoy the time we have together.
But you think for the worse? I think it's a way for me to be of service.
Oh, yeah, I think it will be of service. I think it's gonna harden you a little bit in a way that might make it less enjoyable to have social time.
I might bring the job home with me.
I do think that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The things I've seen, the horrors I saw
right.
at 7-Eleven and in my cab.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Circling back, you are, oh my God, this is a ding, ding, ding. Because this is kind of, there's so many ding, dings.
Dingles.
There's so many dingles.
Ting, 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 tingles.
This is a chatter. This is something that goes on in your head. There's a nonstop chatter happening about this.
I've had more conversations with myself in my head about this retirement plan than I've had in real life about my children's upbringing. Like I can tell you like probably 3 to 1.
Yeah. And just in your feeling of money and work and all that.
Yeah,
That's a chatter.
Yeah. Oh, it's the ultimate chatter. I will say though, great strides for me personally over the last few years. I'm all but over that.
That's great.
As you've seen me spend recently. I mean, I bought a beautiful motorhome I've been wanting for a decade that I never would let myself get. And I don't look at it and go like, oh, that wasn't safe, which is great. In the past, I would have looked at that and said like, oh, that makes me feel unsafe.
Yeah. Can I ask, you love my lamp.
It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
It was worth every penny.
It really was.
It was a great purchase. And I think it might even be gaining value.
Exactly. Thank you for saying that.
It's a great investment, that lamp.
Yeah. You know, it's also, your whole theory about which comes, oh my God, I'm almost embarrassed to say it, but this is a ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
This came up in this episode where you're talking about being tall and like if someone says you're short, you just like, it just rolls off your back because you could care less because it's not true.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because knowing myself, I should be getting a little more agitated by you saying I'm spoiled or a brat. I do get a little, there's a little something that peaks, but
yeah.
But I think for me, it's that tall analogy. Maybe you're not going to like this, but I'm just like, I'm not.
Yeah, that's great. I love that because I don't want at all. I'm not trying to make you feel bad at all.
Yeah.
I just hear these, what I think are adorable stories about you shouting at your mother that you need milkshakes. And that's just funny to me and bratty, but in a very cute way.
That is, of course, bratty. Yes. Like, make me a milkshake. Yes.
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
like a funny story,
Or-
you know?
Also, like, what were we watching and we found out there wasn't another episode and you had a tantrum? Do you remember
Last
that?
Dance. That was deserved.
Okay, right. But to have a tantrum is, you know, it's one of the hallmarks of brattiness.
But
is a
sometimes I
tantrum.
wonder if, because
You're leaning into it.
yeah, it was also making everyone laugh, and
Yeah.
I was joking.
It was a performance.
Really, it was a performance.
Well, let's be honest. Was it 30% real and 70% performance?
The emotion there was real, but the physical tantrum was all a performance.
Right. In a great one.
I thought it was like kind of like doing a character, which you always want me to do.
It was a great one. The character was Brad. It's your bratty character.
It was too good of acting, and you thought it was me.
This happens, yeah. Okay, do you want to know? I feel like this is going to backfire, but I have one more example I could give about you being bratty. Was you went on this family vacation to New York, and you guys were all sharing a hotel room, and you had enough, and you just checked out, moved down the street.
I did.
It's funny. I love it, and it's a little bratty, right?
Yeah, it is. But I think you would have done the exact same thing.
I'm bratty, but you hear me. I constantly am admitting my brattiness. I bring it up all the time. I'm like, oh, I was really bratty on set, or I'm about to be bratty. Like I'm on high alert for when I'm bratty, and I am bratty.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm entitled. I'm delusionally entitled. I mean, I don't think I have to do anything anyone else does. Like, I do not have to wait in traffic. I understand traffic is a real thing, but I don't have to wait in it. I will ride a motorcycle, so I don't have to.
right.
Like, I am so entitled, and I'm so bratty about so many things.
Okay, then I'm definitely bratty too. Then, if you are,
I think it's a cool club that we're in. The Brats.
yeah.
Remember the Brat Pack?
We could be the bratty pack.
Yes, they didn't mind being there, but there was no shame in being in the Brat Pack. Or you'll just have a long story that involved like a food item that wasn't warm enough or something. And it'll be like a whole thing. Like I drove all the way over there and I was desiring this thing. And then I got there and then the matcha was blah, blah, blah. You know, there's oh. Oh, no.
I've never realized that.
These are the things I always think are really adorable about you though. And I always call it out. You'll be like really revved up about a dessert item that wasn't on the menu that day. Oh, all time. There'll be a thing about all time.
Oh yeah, they didn't have the pudding for a while. I was very upset by that.
Yes. That's exactly it.
Yeah, sure. If that's all true.
No, but you hear me say it.
Sure.
I'm like furious that fucking kabuli salad is sometimes available at Squirrel and other times not,
Yeah.
and there's no explanation. The ingredients don't seem that scarce to me that this would not be a consistent item they offer. It's very bratty of me.
I guess it is. I never have thought of it as bratty, but if that's the definition we're going with, then I am. Yes.
Yeah, like I'm like put out by this menu item, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people just be like, "Oh, it's not on the they didn't have it."
This is a bad thing to say, but I don't want to live like that. Like I don't want to not care about the pudding. Like I like that.
Yes. Well, herein lies part of our reoccurring thing is so often I make observations that I do believe you think are character assessments. Like for me, being bratty isn't even a negative thing. It's just like an observation about we feel that there is injustice sometimes about very trivial things, which is funny and bratty. But it's not a character assessment. It's not like, oh, I think less of you because you're mad about the bread pudding. I just observe it.
Butterscotch, but yeah, I wouldn't have cared very much
Yeah,
about bread pudding. But brattiness is considered a negative trait.
Yeah. But so is entitlement. But again, I don't think I'm a bad person because I'm entitled. I think I'm aware that I'm entitled. Although I will say even entitlement is worse to me on the spectrum than brattiness.
For me, for sure it is. I don't know that I think you are. I wouldn't have said that.
That I'm entitled?
I mean, when you use the example of the cars, yes, but I don't think of you as an entitled person. There are people I think of as entitled people that I know, and I would not put you in that category at all.
Yeah, we almost need a third rail because, some people have done nothing and think they deserve a lot.
That to me is entitlement. That's what the definition is to me.
Right. So here is my most recent bout with entitlement. I drive all the way to Utah. I check into the hotel for our stay while shooting in Utah. And it's a dump. It's a dump. Here's the level on which it is a dump. There's no Kleenex in the room. Like, I need Kleenex. I have allergies. I'm constantly blowing my nose. And I'm like, wow, this place doesn't even have Kleenex. And then I go in my head, well, I know that SAG requires that they put you in at least like 3 or 4 star accommodations. So now I'm start going through the reasons that I deserve to be in a better hotel than this. I'm building a case for why I am entitled to be somewhere else. And I'm always trying to check my brattiness and entitlement. So I want to compose a text message to the producer, Jamie, who I love and is so goddamn helpful and wonderful. And so I'm trying to compose this text for, 25 minutes where I can basically tell them, I hate this hotel. I want to be in a much nicer hotel without sounding like an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And it's taking me so long to figure out a way to do that without sounding like an asshole that I just get the idea, maybe I should Google hotels near me to make sure that this isn't actually the best option. I do that, and it turns out it was the best option.
Yeah.
So they couldn't have put me anywhere else.
Yeah.
But I did have a good half hour where I felt like there was an injustice, that they were trying to cheat me, that they were trying to save $1 at my expense of not having Kleenex. I went through this whole thing. Like, I've been working in this business for 20 years. Yeah. And then, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just pay for my own hotels going forward. Like, I can afford to stay somewhere with Kleenex. I'll just do it, and they won't pay, whatever. I have that whole circus, the chatter.
You have the chatter. I actually think that story is bratty, but it's not entitled.
Okay.
I think, we're getting into the weeds, but
I like, that's where we love to play around, isn't it?
We love the weeds. To me, entitled is when you expect something that you haven't earned. Like, to me, there's just such a clear difference because I just have people in my head who I'm like, oh, they're just so entitled, and it's so different to me than being bratty. Like, I don't even know that some of those people are bratty, but they're very entitled. Right. And I would, and maybe it's because I am bratty, as we're discovering, but I would much prefer brattiness over entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to start because we got to start. We got to start talking about...
Well, we kind of...
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
What happened? Oh, my goodness. Something so exciting happened.
This isn't a fact check for Ethan. This is a fact check for Robin Thicke.
Oh, my God.
So all these ding, ding, dings.
I think we should leave this.
We have to. We have to.
Yeah.
Okay,
now to Robin Thicke.
Now to Robin Thicke, which I guess the good news is we talk so much, but we didn't do any facts. That's true. Which is how I realized. I just pulled up my facts and I'm like, uh-oh. So how long was Growing Pains on the air? Growing Pains began in 1985, September. 2 years before my birth. 2 years
before your birth.
That's right. And final episode, April 1992.
Okay, 7 years.
Yeah, good run.
It was very formative in my youth because that takes me from 10 years old to 17 years old.
And remember Leonardo DiCaprio was on it?
Yeah, he was a wayward homeless kid.
Oh my God.
So sexy.
So sexy.
I want to ask you a really weird, bizarre question. This will be like a Jonathan Haidt thought experiment, moral thought experiment.
Oh,
you start dating.
Okay.
You start dating Leonardo DiCaprio. You guys are even married.
We're having sex in the Tyrannosaurus Rex skull.
Pretty regularly.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys are married. In addition to him collecting T-Rex skulls, he also collects time machines.
Oh, wow.
You tell him, oh my God, you were so cute on that episode of Growing Pains when you were 15.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I give you permission to go in the time machine and go seduce him.
Me as my age?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I wouldn't do it.
Okay, it's morally reprehensible.
Yes.
So the future, okay, good. I'm fine with that answer. I just want to see can the future self give consent to a younger self?
Well, here's the thing. I think
we've talked about this as far as like if you were married and your wife had taken nude pictures of herself at 17.
Right.
What's the moral line there to look at those and enjoy them? If she goes, oh, go ahead and look at them.
Yeah, they're me and we're married.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people are going to have stuff to say about this. I think it's fine. There's something about going back in a time machine and actually doing it, like being
because it could harm them.
Exactly. That's changing the
Okay, but knowing yourself, right? So I know me at 15, you would not be harming me. I'm already fucking as often as I can. I'm so into it. And I would love the experience, and I would by no means would I feel preyed upon.
I know, but just ethically, you're interacting with a teenager.
Minor.
Yeah, that's bad. But the picture of your spouse, I find that
I think I would even I wish Kristen wanted to stare at the pictures of me in high school.
I think it's fine. I mean, I feel like that's definitely the wrong answer, but
yeah,
I think I would be okay with my husband being attracted to pictures of me at a young age.
Because here's where I would say, from a moral debate stance that you could take, is there's simply no victim. There isn't a victim. That person hasn't existed for 20 years.
And I mean, really, you're already attracted to the person. So part of it is just seeping in. It's not like, oh my God, that random picture of a random 17-year-old is hot. It's like, oh, this person I know and love and turned out to be this. I love that person. And oh my God, they're so cute as a, you know, I don't know. I just think it's different.
Oh, I know. We did have this conversation because my question to somebody we interviewed was, what if you, as the owner of those pictures, wanted to release those pictures? Those are technically child pornography.
Yeah, I don't think that's good. Well, no, I don't.
Well, because you don't want to give fodder to the perverts.
Exactly. But if it's your husband, you know they're not. You know they're a safe person. Like that's... Yeah. And they're not going to use that to do anything.
Become a weirdo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Although you never really know, because the husband who killed the wife and the kids, you never know.
You don't know.
Okay. Who is the biggest celebrity who's been on Masked Singer? There's been a lot of people on it. So like LeAnn Rimes was on it, Nick Carter, Aloe Black. Also, so Brian Austin Green was on, and
he was?
Yes. And they're best friends. I really wish I could play a clip of them rapping together. You know, they were in that rap group.
Me too.
But I just can't find that.
And I don't know that they even recorded anything. They might have just declared they were a group.
Perhaps, yeah.
Kind of like Cowbell.
Well, let's see. Wait, Brian Austin Green rap song.
Well, he had his own little rap career.
Oh, okay. Then
I think he even rapped on 90210 at the Peach Pit.
This is sounding familiar. Oh, I loved him.
Oh, I bet you did.
I liked all the guys on that.
He looks like Ben Affleck.
A little bit, yeah. I liked all the guys. I liked Jason Priestley. I liked Luke Perry. He
was the best for me.
Yeah. So
he was sexiest.
It's not unethical to talk about a person who's deceased, right?
No.
Okay.
No. No. Ooh, what historical figure would you most want to sleep with?
Oh my gosh. Let's see.
I got mine already. I didn't think I was going to be able to think of one, but I got mine, I think. Oh, I got three.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Amelia Earhart.
Oh, really? That's not what I would have expected. Okay.
Joan of Arc.
Okay.
Cleopatra.
I thought Cleopatra would be in there. Tell me about Amelia Earhart.
She's a beast. She's so confident. She flew across the ocean. No woman had done it. Or did she? I don't know if she made it. She did disappear over the ocean. She disappeared.
No one found her, yeah.
But to me, that spells confidence, and confidence to me spells a good time in the rack.
That's great. Okay, I would pick the obvious, like, easy answer is JFK.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, he's your guy.
Well, JFK Jr. is my guy, but I don't know. We're counting him. So JFK would be up there.
I have two suggestions.
Okay, give.
Julius Caesar.
Wait. Didn't Julius Caesar stab Or no, he got
No,
stabbed.
Mark Antony stabbed Julius Caesar on the Ides of March because he was fucking Cleopatra, I believe. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Maybe.
And then my next one is Genghis Khan, or Genghis Khan, as they said in the book. And I'll tell you why. Because he fucked so much. I don't think anyone in history has fucked more than Genghis Khan.
I don't think I would like that.
Well, he would be so good at it, is my assumption.
Yeah, but no, I don't.
It's a turnoff for you.
I don't like.
I'm talking about just the experience, though.
Yeah, just the physical experience of sex. Yeah, I mean, I think I would. Okay, if it's just sex, I'm going to stick with JFK on that. Oh, or what about MLK? I might be very interested.
Well, he
in
fucked
that.
a ton too. He fucked so much.
That's not why. It's that like they, especially him, like I would be so attracted to his goodness. You know, like he's changing the world. He's so good.
But that
He's
wouldn't extend to
handsome
Gandhi,
and strong.
though. Yeah, but that wouldn't extend to Gandhi.
Handsome and strong. MLK. Gandhi.
But Gandhi was arguably better than MLK, even as far as just how many people he helped. Well, he has 600 million
I
people.
just don't think he would want to have sex with me, Gandhi.
No, he seems like a terrible legend.
Wait, no, don't say that.
Yes,
don't say that. That's not nice.
Yes, he doesn't even look like he's emaciated. He's on a hunger strike. I doubt he could get erect.
I do think
he's fragile. He can't lift you up. He would be
okay.
terrible
I just think he
leg.
has other priorities. Yeah, he has other priorities. I'm trying to think of like a brilliant scientist or like maybe Einstein, but he looks so crazy. Like, would I be scared of him? I don't know, but
more like Isaac Newton, maybe.
Yeah, or Edison.
Okay, that's freaky. Galileo. The problem with a lot of the great enlightened and rather the Renaissance people, Leonardo da Vinci, many of those guys are gay.
Oh, right.
He did have a beautiful body. He posed for a lot of.
Who, Da Vinci?
Yeah. What about like Hemingway? To Mancho?
He's not for me.
Van Gogh. Van Gogh is weird.
Yeah, the artists are odd. I think I would be more attracted to one of the scientists.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Let's just stick with JFK.
This is a fun game. This should be like a board game.
I gotta keep thinking on this because there's so many people I'm just not. My brain isn't.
Yeah.
But
We're missing whole decades.
MLK and JFK.
Ooh, this is a very provocative one.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah, this is dangerous. Jesus.
Oh, no.
Wow. But you'd have to imagine if he truly was the son of God, he would be transcendent in the Iraq.
Especially if he's the son of God, no.
Why? Why can't the son of God have sex?
No, he can, but I don't want to have sex with him. That's like a lot of pressure. Like if I did something a little wrong, he wouldn't like it.
He would banish you to hell.
But Jesus, the historical figure.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, it's a good one on your list.
He would have
when
had
you're
a nice
comparing at a party.
Mediterranean look, and I would have liked that probably. Yeah.
Beautiful olive skin, soft, beautiful hair.
Okay. The reason I'm scared about JFK, well, lots, because, there's stuff that's come out about him that's not great. But also on The Crown, the depiction of him on The Crown is not great. Like, he was not nice to his wife.
Well, that's very well documented. He was a shitty husband.
Well, yeah, The Crown.
I doubt The Crown should. Go ahead.
Yeah, The Crown does really good research. I think everything on The Crown is pretty much exactly correct. So
I'm only saying they didn't break any new ground with that revelation.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think they were trying to, and they never are trying to. I think they're really just trying to show that. But seeing it was not great.
Yeah, JFK. His worst thing was probably not even how he treated his wife. There was a 60 Minutes piece on that woman who lost her virginity to him in the pool of the White House. Okay. Well, we've said it all.
Well, we really have said it all. We've said 2 fact checks worth of stuff. And
a great exploration, both morally and historically.
There's no more facts for Robin. I really, really enjoyed him. And I guess I'll say, maybe this isn't nice to say, but I had a different expectation of what the interview was going to be and who he is. And I was really like, oh my gosh. I like this person.
Exact same experience. It reversed a lot of preconceived notions I had about who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Same,
Dingles.
same dingies. All right.
All right. I love
I
you.
love you.